The name alone demands attention. Shedeur Sanders, son of a legend, quarterback in the making, and a lifestyle that looks straight out of a music video. By 23, he's already living like he's collected a dozen Super Bowl rings. But the real story isn't the mansion, the cars, or the headlines. It's how a kid from Tyler, Texas, went from underdog to spotlight magnet, carrying a legacy while carving out his own. This is more than football. It's swagger, it's grind, it's resilience. It's the rise of a young man who refuses to just inherit fame. He's rewriting what it means to live it. From high school glory to HBCU stardom, from Colorado mountains to Ohio mansions, every step is a chapter, every touchdown a statement. And now, the next chapter is just getting started. Step inside the world of Shedeur Sanders, where ambition meets style, hustle meets legacy, and every move is a headline waiting to happen. Step into the world of Shedeur Sanders, the son of football legend Deion Primetime Sanders, where luxury isn't just a perk, it's a family tradition. Swagger? Yeah, he's got it in his DNA. And get this, he hasn't even completed a full NFL season yet, but he's already living like he collects Super Bowl rings like Pokemon cards. So, how did he get here? How do you go from college dorms to owning a mansion with a pool that looks like it was plucked straight out of a Drake music video? Stick around, because this isn't just a story about a young athlete. It's a story about ambition, legacy, and doing generational flexing the right way. Born on February 7th, 2002, in Tyler, Texas, a place where football isn't a pastime, it's a birthright. Shedeur had one thing going for him, his dad. And when your dad is Deion Sanders, football isn't just a game, it's the family brand. Growing up in that house, imagine trying to learn to swim while your dad is Michael Phelps. Every throw, every move, every haircut, someone was watching. At Trinity Christian School, where his dad was conveniently also the offensive coordinator, Shedeur started writing his own story. By his senior year, he was unstoppable. 3,702 yards, 43 touchdowns, and stats that made college recruiters forget how to blink. But the whispers followed him everywhere. Is he really that good, or is it just the Sanders name? Truth, it was both. Then came the first big plot twist. Instead of going the flashy, safe college route, Shedeur made a move that turned heads. He followed his dad to Jackson State, an HBCU that most of America couldn't even find on a map before the Sanders family arrived. And that's when things got interesting. Together, Shedeur and Deion didn't just put Jackson State on the map, they made it a spectacle. ESPN cameras showed up, celebrities filled the sidelines, and Shedeur went full highlight reel. Nearly 3,000 passing yards, the Jerry Rice Award for top freshman, and suddenly, he wasn't just Deion's son, he was his own star in the making. But of course, every rise attracts questions. Could he keep dominating once he stepped out of his father's shadow? That's when the next chapter begins, the Colorado gamble. When Coach Prime took over at the University of Colorado, Shedeur didn't hesitate. He followed, diving headfirst into the fire of Division I football. Suddenly, he wasn't the big fish in a small pond anymore. He was a Sanders, swimming with sharks. Analysts said he wouldn't last. Fans doubted him. Critics sharpened their tweets. But Shedeur, he didn't flinch. Game after game, he proved he had ice in his veins. Pocket presence, impeccable. Accuracy, surgical. Confidence. Let's just say the man was tossing touchdowns in his sleep. Still, college football has a way of humbling even the best. Scouts started dissecting him like he was a science experiment. Holds the ball too long? Needs to handle pressure better? Does he even have that NFL arm? The noise was relentless, but the numbers spoke louder than the chatter. By the time the 2025 NFL draft rolled around, Shedeur's name was everywhere. Headlines echoed his father's words. "My son will shock the world." Draft night came. Round 1, silence. Round 2, crickets. Round 3, still nothing. Somewhere, Tom Brady probably smiled knowingly. Like Brady, Shedeur's moment wasn't about fireworks, it was about patience. Finally, on the last day of the draft, the Cleveland Browns called his name with the 144th overall pick. 5th round. Not the fairy tale everyone expected, but the kind of beginning forged in grit. Now imagine this. 23 years old, fresh off a rookie deal worth $4.6 million, signing bonus alone could buy a small island. What do? Most people invest. Some save. Shedeur? He bought Ohio. Well, almost. The new 5,000 square foot Ohio mansion is the result of hard work meeting serious flex. A winding driveway cuts through manicured lawns, leading to a 5-bedroom palace that whispers wealth but screams style. Inside, sunlight floods every corner, like the windows were designed by a cinematographer. Hardwood floors, soaring ceilings, and a kitchen so sleek it could host a cooking show. Sub-zero appliances, marble counters. An island so massive it should have its its own zip code. Then step outside, a 40-foot heated pool with a diving board, fire pit, pergola straight out of a luxury resort. This isn't just a backyard, it's an ego recovery zone. Picture Shedeur and teammates post-game, chilling by the fire, music in the background, maybe a few too many wings on the grill. Wins get toasted, losses get forgotten. Upstairs, the master suite isn't just a bedroom, it's a command center for greatness. Silk sheets, spa bathtub, walk-in closets lined with designer gear, and a private office where game tape meets strategy. This is where the grind meets the lifestyle, and where Shedeur Sanders' story is just getting started. Downstairs, the mansion transforms into an entertainment paradise. Video games, movie nights, even a home gym setup. The vibe? Somewhere between an elite athlete's retreat and a young millionaire's clubhouse. Every corner tells the same story. This is a young man who's earned the right to live large, but still feels like he's just getting started. But the Ohio Dream House? That's only half the story. Before the Buckeye life called, Shedeur had already set the tone with another pad, his Colorado Springs home. And if you thought the Ohio mansion was peak luxury, think again. That was just halftime. Shedeur's first big flex was Mansion 1.0, a $1.7 million mid-century masterpiece that screamed style in a way that felt more Tony Stark than football player. From the second you stepped through the front door, the design flexed at you. Clean lines, warm tones, glass everywhere. This wasn't a house that whispered luxury, it performed it. You could almost expect an orchestra to start playing as you walked in. The living room was a symphony of class. Open layout, glowing fireplace, and massive windows framing the Rockies like a living, breathing painting. Downstairs, the family room was pure, primetime hangout energy. Wide, sunlit, cozy, the kind of space where Shedeur could unwind after torching defenses all day. And yes, there's a gas fireplace down there too, because apparently the only thing Shedeur hates more than losing is being cold. Step outside and you're greeted by panoramic views that look straight out of a travel magazine. The Broadmoor Resort twinkling in the distance, the Colorado Springs skyline stretching endlessly. It was a first taste of the high life, a statement that this young man wasn't just following his father's legacy, he was building his own. It's where luxury meets serenity. You can almost hear "I Made It" playing on repeat as you walk through. And then there's the bedroom, or, as Shedeur probably calls it, the command center. The master suite is next-level sophistication. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a private balcony, and a bathroom that feels more like a spa retreat than a place to get ready. You could take a shower, meditate, and host a meeting in there, and still have space left over. Every detail screams one thing. This isn't a kid riding on his dad's name. This is a young man designing a lifestyle on his own terms. But that Colorado era wasn't just about flexing. It was symbolic. That house wasn't just where Shedeur slept. It was where he built himself. Juggling classes, practices, and national attention, he was turning Jackson State's underdog story into a household name and laying the foundation for the NFL. That home wasn't a trophy. It was a training ground, a pit stop on the highway to greatness. And when the draft dust settled and Cleveland called, Colorado faded into the rearview mirror. New city, new stage, new level of flex. And while the mansion tells one story, the garage tells another. Welcome to Shedeur Sanders' Garage, a veritable museum of speed and status. Forget a driveway full of ordinary Fords. This lineup reads like the Fast and Furious cast list. Front and center, the Lamborghini Urus. This SUV doesn't care about practicality. It's here to announce your arrival before you even step out. Twin-turbo V8, 640 horsepower, acceleration so violent it could probably reset your Wi-Fi. Every red light becomes a starting line. Next up, the Mercedes-Benz G-Class, the G-Wagon, the undisputed king of celebrity SUVs. Boxy, brutal, timeless. You don't drive a G-Wagon to blend in. You drive it to remind everyone that you have options. And then, the crown jewels, the Mercedes Maybach twins, GLS 600 and SC 680. These aren't just cars, they're five-star hotel rooms on wheels. Reclining rear seats, ambient lighting, massaging features. Every drive is first class. Every passenger treated like royalty. This is more than a garage, it's a statement. Shedeur Sanders isn't just living the dream, he's curating it, accelerating it, and making sure everyone knows he earned every inch. Even the air feels richer when you slip into a Maybach. You don't just show up somewhere, you descend. But the wild card in Shedeur's lineup, the Tesla Cybertruck. Stainless steel, sharp angles, Pure sci-fi vibes. Imagine if Batman and Elon Musk teamed up to design a pickup truck. That's the Cybertruck. Some buy it for sustainability. Shedeur? He probably got it because it looks like it could outrun paparazzi while surviving a snowstorm. Together, these cars tell a story. The Lamborghini for swagger, the G-Wagon for legacy, the Maybachs for pure luxury, and the Cybertruck, that's rebellion on four wheels. It's not just a collection, it's an autobiography on wheels. But here's the reality check. Cars, mansions, designer threads, they all need fuel. And not just the kind that goes in a gas tank. For Shedeur Sanders, lifestyle runs on hustle. The money doesn't appear out of thin air. It comes from touchdowns, contracts, and being part of a billion-dollar brand with the last name Sanders. His rookie deal with the Cleveland Browns, 4 years, $4.6 million, with nearly $500,000 up front as a signing bonus. Sounds like generational money, right? Well, in NFL terms, that's basically mid-tier luxury. The kicker? None of it's guaranteed. He has to earn every dollar by proving himself on the field, week after week. And here's the ironic part. Back in college, Shedeur was actually richer. Thanks to NIL deals, name, image, likeness, he was pulling in an estimated $3 to $5 million a year before even stepping foot in the NFL. Let that sink in. The guy was making more money in college than most rookies ever see. Endorsements, sponsorships, merch collabs, his social media alone is basically a business. So when people say Shedeur Sanders is worth $4 million, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's not just football money, it's influence money, brand deals, appearances, NIL residuals. Being Deion's son may have opened the door, but his charisma, consistency, and grind kept it wide open. And yet the ultimate flex isn't the bank account. It's the way he moves. Confident, calm, calculated. Every decision, every play, every drive, it all announces one thing. This is a young man who's built his empire on talent, hustle, and style. Shedeur Sanders isn't out here burning cash like it's monopoly money. Every investment, every car, every property feels calculated, strategic. He's building more than a life. He's building a legacy. But even young stars stumble. Fame doesn't come with an instruction manual. And the brighter the spotlight, the easier it is to get blinded. Because while the mansions and Maybachs tell one story, his personal life tells another. Just as raw, just as human, and just as fascinating. And that's where things get real. Away from roaring stadiums, screaming fans, and the flash of paparazzi, Shedeur lives a surprisingly chill life, or as chill as life gets when you're trending every other week. Off the field, he's less quarterback robot, more 23-year-old balancing pressure, fame, and playlists that slap. Beneath the tailored suits and polished interviews is a young man still figuring out how to be great in a world that never stops watching. And in May 2024, he dropped something no one expected, a hip-hop single called Perfect Timing. At first, people rolled their eyes. Another athlete trying to rap, they said, until they listened. The flow was solid. The lyrics had drive. It wasn't just a vanity project. It was therapy with a beat. The track was Shedeur's way of saying, I'm more than football. I'm rhythm. I'm mindset. I'm Prime's kid, but I'm my own man too. And that's the thing people forget. This guy's growing up in public. Every tweet, every car, every sideline smirk gets magnified. When you're Deion Sanders' son, you don't just play quarterback, you play life in 4K. And still, Shedeur handles it with the same calm he shows in the pocket. Unbothered, precise, occasionally cocky, always entertaining. But life isn't just photo ops and playbooks. In June 2025, Shedeur made headlines for something that had nothing to do with touchdowns: speeding tickets. 2 of them just weeks apart. One clocked at 91 in a 65 zone, the other at 101 in a 60. Yep, apparently those garage cars aren't just for show. The internet went wild. Because whether it's music, football, or pushing the limit on a G-Wagon, Shedeur Sanders is doing it all out loud and doing it on his own terms. Reckless, they shouted. Immature, they posted. And maybe they had a point. Or maybe it was just a 23-year-old with too much horsepower and zero patience for Ohio speed limits. Either way, it was a reality check. Fame has a way of making your mistakes echo louder than your victories. But here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders. It's not perfection that defines him. It's resilience. He gets knocked down, adapts, and comes back swinging. Doubted at every level, from high school to HBCU to the NFL draft, he's answered every time with work. Whether it's dropping music, running drills, or mentoring kids through his platform, Shedeur is building something that lasts far longer than any viral headline. Family remains the anchor. His brother Shedeur Sanders is carving his own path in the NFL too, signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2025. Together, they're like Sanders 2.0, a sequel nobody expected, but everyone's watching. And at the center of it all, guiding, pushing, and occasionally roasting them on camera, Deion Sanders. Discipline, charisma, competition, dazzle. That's the family blueprint. Away from the cameras and flash, Shedeur's life has its simple moments too. Nights by the pool, fire pit crackling, music playing, laughter drifting into the air from friends and family. Peace like that doesn't come from money. It comes from balance, a rare luxury for someone living constantly under the spotlight. And that's the paradox of Shedeur Sanders. He's the millionaire kid and the hungry underdog. He's a product of privilege and proof of perseverance. Flashy but focused, confident but still carving his own name in the world. Somewhere between NFL playbooks and Maybach playlists, he's defining what it means to grow up famous while still fighting for your own legacy. The Ohio mansion, the luxury cars, the music, the fame, they're just the opening chapters. The real test? Sundays. Cameras rolling, defense hungry for blood. That's when we'll see if the legend of Shedeur Sanders lives up to the name on his jersey. So here's the question. Is Shedeur Sanders destined to become one of the NFL's next great quarterbacks? Or is this just the glamorous prologue to a story still being written? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed stepping inside the mansion, the mindset, and the mayhem of football's most talked about young star, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because in the world of Shedeur Sanders, every chapter starts with a headline and ends with a highlight.